It was a plane? It was definitely a plane?
They said a 737 plane. Steve.
Think that was a suicide?
If that was a terrorist attack,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's on. You know it, right?
I don't know, guy.
Everything's fucked up.
Holy shit, Martin.
Oh!
That's the other building. That's terrorists.
Other building?
That's terrorists, bro. That's fucking terrorists.
Holy shit! Oh my God.
That's terrorists, bro.
They just shut it out. Did you get that?
I zoomed out on it.
This is Kevin Farkas, one of the hosts of the Genesis Collective podcast. On each episode, we highlight and celebrate a different piece of public art in Beaver County. But today's short feature is a little different.
American 587 New York.
Yeah, just to let you know, we saw a huge, tremendous amount of black smoke south of Long Island.
And I saw people jumping off the building. Everybody was running. The cops were trying to maintain the calm.
Do you remember that day 20 years ago? It was, to say the least, horrific, unlike anything our nation has ever experienced.
Oh my God. That looks like a second plane.
And I actually saw people waving where the first plane crashed through, and then it was unbelievable seeing this second jet come crashing into the second tower. What is going on?
And we heard a big bang, and then we saw smoke coming out. Everybody started running out, and we saw the plane on the other side of the building, and there was smoke everywhere. People were jumping out the windows. Over there, they're jumping out the windows. I guess they're trying to see what's
The whole building's gone.
The whole building's gone. Indeed.
Holy fucking Jesus!
We do apologize for the language on the videotape.
I had a field com urgent case. Please, send somebody! The person calls to help. Listen to me, you need to calm down and relax. Stand by, we do have somebody on the way. Get off the air, we do have somebody on the way over to you. You'll remain calm, 10-4. We understand there's a major collapse. That's a 10-4, we got a 10-13, we got a second tower down.
It's almost impossible to conceive of the death and injury, the blood and the screams of the dying, an indescribable scene of death and destruction. People seen leaping or being forced out of the building at fairly high levels. And when those buildings collapsed, that concrete and steel that came crashing
September
down
11th, 2001, is a day forever stamped into our nation's history and collective memory. Never forget is what we often hear each year around this time as we commemorate the occasion in cities and towns all across America, including right here in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. We gather, we share our stories, and we remember with ceremonies at places such as the 9/11 Memorial in New York, the Flight 93 National Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, or at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Each September, these national memorials become the most prominent focal points of remembrance, but the online publication ArcConnect estimates that there are over 1,000 9/11 memorials all over the world, including about 3 dozen or so in Pennsylvania. Western Pennsylvania has its share of 9/11 memorials, Shanksville chief among them. They're on the campuses of Duquesne and Carnegie Mellon universities and in towns such as Erie and Johnstown. But right here in our region, we have a handful of 9/11 memorials of a very special type. The communities of Robinson, Mount Lebanon, Moon, Munhall, White Oak, Lower Borough, and Cranberry have memorials with actual pieces of the World Trade Center that was brought down when hijacked planes were crashed into the Trade Center's twin towers. To see one of these memorials, we travel just outside of Beaver County to the town of Cranberry, take the exit off the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and head north on Route 19, not far, just a couple of miles past the sprawling shopping centers and professional buildings. Up ahead there, where a pair of amber emergency signals flash eternally over the roadway, the Cranberry Volunteer Fire Company sits off to your left. Make the turn into the parking lot. Look for the American flag. See it there? It stands like a sentinel guarding the firehouse. It also marks the Cranberry 9/11 Memorial, dedicated to remembering the service and sacrifice of first responders who answered the call that day, as well as the chaotic, fearful weeks and months afterward. Reflecting upon the New York firefighters and other first responders, longtime Cranberry firefighter Bruce Heslip recently told the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, "I don't think I could have done what they did." Indeed, who could possibly imagine what they went through? Perhaps only those with such experiences can really understand this, those who've actually felt the fire and heat, witnessed the carnage, and waded through the wreckage of disaster. Firefighters understand this, of course, and the Cranberry Volunteer Fire Company wants us to understand too. Their 9/11 memorial is not abstract. A piece of steel from Ground Zero sits upon granite replicas of the Twin Towers. By design, this 9/11 memorial is different than most. It's meant to be physical and approachable. In fact, the Cranberry firefighters want the public to walk up to it and touch it and feel it. Our reaction is supposed to be visceral and emotional, lest we forget what we all felt that day. Now, memorials do more than just commemorate history. As public art, they have motives. When you visit the Cranberry 9/11 Memorial and lay your hand upon that mangled steel I-beam that once held up the World Trade Center, the experience will stay with you for a very long time, so that we never forget.